Hello, my name is Andrew Thake from Mines and Money. Delighted to be joined today by Aneel Waraich, who is the Executive Vice President and Director of Steppe Gold. Delighted to have you with us today, Aneel.
Great to be here. Thank you, Andrew.
Aneel, you've had a very strong set of financial results that you brought out on the 15th of May. Can you just talk through some of the key highlights?
Yeah, I guess the key highlights on our financials for Q1, that's one of our lowest quarters of production because it's still winter. So you're having depressed numbers on production side. So we forecasted 6,000 ounces of production, and we came in around 6,900 ounces. And our all-in costs at site were about $650, and our all-in costs, with every single cost involved corporately, G&A and sustaining capex, came in the $800 range as well. So highly profitable production that will only increase in the coming quarters, as now we have spring and summer. In fact, this was the first winter that we produced for the first time ever since starting the operation in April 2020. So not bad. We did produce 40,000 ounces from the end of Q1 last year to the end of Q1 this year. So without any disruptions in our production whatsoever. So we are in I'll call it more stable footing for our phase one oxide operation.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of your plans, you're obviously in the process of acquiring Anacortes Mining. How transformative would that be for Steppe Gold?
Yeah, it essentially doubles the size of our resource base. So today we're sitting just under 2.5 million ounces, inclusive of 1.7 million ounces of gold equivalent reserves. Anacortes adds about 2.5 million ounces to our balance sheet. And so that certainly now builds Steppe into a platform that has multiple assets in multiple jurisdictions and scale. This is what investors want to hear and want to see. They want scale and diversification. So we're very focused on our growth in Mongolia with our expansion and project financing, hopefully soon to be announced there. But we're now building a pipeline that, for whatever reason, we have diversification, whether it's weather, politics, pandemic, you name it, as we've all seen it in the last few years. Adding Peru as a tier one jurisdiction and a pipeline that after Mongolia is expanded in the next couple of years, we can then take some of that capital and go replicate what we've done in Mongolia and build a phase one and a phase two operation in Peru.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you've just announced your recent phase of financing that's been very successful.
Yes, absolutely. So in April, we announced a $9 million financing at $1.10. No warrant attached, and is really some capital to capitalize our Peru operation as we acquire it this month. So that it leaves it capitalized for the next kind of 18, 24 months and puts more cash on the balance sheet while we're negotiating our phase two expansion project for Mongolia and the ATO phase two there. Mm-hmm. So we closed it in mid to early May last month, and we upsized it from 9 million to 12.1 million. Eric Sprott continued to support and participated, and our newly appointed chairman and CEO, Bata Tumor Osher, also participated for $2 million. So that's a big sign of endorsement at a premium. These are long-term investors that believe in the long-term value of the company.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned Eric Sprott there. I mean, in terms of investor support, it doesn't come more high profile than Eric Sprott. Just for those who don't know the history of Steppe Gold, what can have first attracted to Eric to the company?
So Eric came in as we started commercial production in 2020. So he actually wrote his first check in the company in August 2020 at a price that's significantly higher than today, actually a price of $2.15 for 10% of the company, 9.9% of the company at that time. And what he liked is production, cash flow, and growth. And we offer all that. We've proven that. We've taken 210,000 ounces of reserves when we started this company to now 1.7 million ounces of reserves, and we're still down only to 350, 400 meters. So that self-funding mechanism as you bootstrap the company using cash flow from the oxide mine to grow your asset base, which we did. We updated our feasibility study this year. We've added more mine life, scale, and then eventually you get to use that cash flow in a couple of years to continue to self-fund exploration. Mongolia is relatively underexplored, home to world-class assets as we know already. And we have what we think is one of those first mover advantages. So a lot of opportunity to explore and use our base as a producer and employer today to continue growing. So we were certainly his first Mongolian investment, and he's quite supportive and sees the growth there.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you're also looking to go and list on the Hong Kong exchange as well. Can you just talk us through your thinking behind that?
Yeah, so that's something actually we had been working on for a couple of years. With supply chain issues and the pandemic, we had to put that on hold a couple of years ago. Now they're back in action, have had no issues on the production side, and we're a much bigger company. It actually makes sense for a variety of reasons. One is we are an Asian producer today. So we're well understood in that market. That culture, that market understands Mongolia. It's not an emerging or frontier market to those Asian investors. Obviously, they like gold. That's culturally, it's in our blood for thousands and thousands of years. That's not going out of fad anytime soon, and that always remains. So that's key. More importantly, I would say is the valuations and liquidity. We want to increase our liquidity in our stock. There's only about 6 other producers that trade on the Hong Kong exchange, so we become one of, I guess, 7. When you compare us in North America on the TSX, we're one of hundreds. So now it's a lot easier for people to see how undervalued we are if you compare us to all the other traded companies. So we think that's going to help close the valuation gap on our stock. We have 30% plus, now 30 to 40% of our investors in Asia anyways, so in terms of time zone. And so we think we'll be well understood and again, well liked when you compare us against every other comp there.
Well, we do wish you all the best for the rest of the year. We look forward to seeing you at Mines and Money later on during the year. And in the meantime, thank you very much for your time. That was Aneel Waraich, who's the Executive Vice President and Director of Steppe Gold. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you.